Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Doug, the retirement guy with the monthly ETFs. We're excited to announce a new ETF from VistaShares. It's the SI00. I'm going to call it the S100 ETF. It's the VistaShare Targeted 15 S&P 100 Distribution ETF. It's a new way to seek income potential in the S&P 100 category. Now the fund is set up to pay dividends monthly. It has a targeted 15% yield. Now that's a management objective and not guaranteed part of the fund. We're going to dive deeper into it to find out how does it work, what's different about the VistaShares that they've done with other funds, and see if this is a fund that we should have in our portfolio or not. Let's get into today's video. So notice to all viewers, past performance does not guarantee future results, and this information provided in the video is for educational information only. I am not a financial advisor. I am just giving you information to help you with your financial side of things. If you need professional advice, always contact a professional advisor. So let's take a look at the overview from VistaShares. This one is designed to generate high monthly income potential with a targeted 15% annual yield. Now, they achieve the long-term capital appreciation and provide focus on income and growth potential. So this one's coming out, it came out basically 5 days ago, December 11th, 2025. It is an actively managed ETF. And it has a dynamic portfolio adjustments. Now it's focused on the S&P 100 index. So they're trying to give you income and growth focus. Now the investment strategy is really an equity component. The core equity portfolio provides exposure to the core equity portfolio mirroring the S&P 100 index, offering diversified exposure to large cap U.S. blue chip companies. Now the S&P 500 index focus comprises that 100 blue chip companies, but represents 70% of the S&P 500 market capitalization. So the investment approach is the fund's equity component provides consistent exposure to the S&P 100 index while supporting the objective of generating high monthly income potential. So 70% of the S&P 500 will be covered into this program focusing on the S&P 100. Now the investment strategy for generating income is going to come from utilizing the option strategy to target that 15% annual yield. Now that is a target that's not guaranteed. Employing the S&P 100 OEX options and also using for tax advantage the Section 1256 contracts eligible for favorable tax rates generates enhanced cash flows through strategic option trading. So they're going to use that covered calls, which typically employ a generate regular income potential. They have a risk return balance, and they have that enhanced cash flow. So some of the key market information. Well, right now, the net asset value is $19.89 per share. They have total net assets of a little over $2 million already into it. And their market price is $19.97. So you can see it's already above its net value. And the expense ratio is only 0.59%, which is fair in a market like this. So their top holdings in that S100 portfolio comes from NVIDIA, technology, Apple, technology, Microsoft, technology, Amazon is consumer cyclical, and then Alphabet is in that communication services. Now the investment risk rates. This is a new fund. So that's going to target a risk because we don't have any history to fall back onto. The index strategy risk. The equity securities in the S&P 100 index are subject to market fluctuations, increased competition, and evaluating regulatory environments, all which can adversely affect the performance of the fund. Now, the new and sub-advisor risk. Now, VistaShare is newly formed entity with limited experience in managing an exchange-traded funds, which may impact the effectiveness of it. And the focus portfolio risk is that you're focusing only on the top 100, which always gives you that risk of being even more diversified. So the derivatives and market risks. Now, option trading risks. Option prices are volatile and they are influenced by changing in the underlying value. Strategies like covered calls forgo some potential upside for that regular income. So you're trading upside for income. S&P 500 100 index, the OEX option classified, it does have that tax advantages of those 1256 contracts. Now, the equity market volatility, common stocks carry greater risk than other securities. Equity securities may experience sudden drops or prolonged declines. And the derivative complexity, the swap agreements entered into with major financial institutions and complex pricing can sometimes affect the NAV as we know it. Now let's talk about distribution considerations. Now the fund is so new. Like I said, it's only 5 days old. There is no distributions output yet. But I'll have to say there's no guarantee of distributions either. There's no assurance that you're going to get monthly distributions. They have noted that they will be using return of capital as part of their tax planning and always is as an option. And we have to know the risk and considerations of that could affect our income or our profits of the fund. So we're just waiting to see how this comes out, what the distributions will be like. Now, the character of trading, the exchange traded fund, the trades on the exchanges throughout the trading day, the market prices will fluctuate based on supply and demand. And the premium discounts right now, you're looking at the discount is the difference between the NAV and the marketplace. So there's about a 8 cents premium right now over the market price. So one big thing to remember that this is currently trading now today. It's been up for almost a little over 5 days already, out trading. So basically in conclusion, it's a targeting of 15% annual income from the S&P 100 index exposure. Truthfully, that's what I got excited about, seeing that someone was finally doing something with the S&P 500, S&P 100, is because of the growth we've already seen with the current numbers out there, that the S&P has had a very strong run. So now is it an opportunity to pick up some income on that side of it? Potentially there is. The dual focus on generating income and long-term capital growth, I'm going to wait to see. It's a neat idea. I understand how they're doing it, but will it happen? You know, that we're on that risk factor. And this thing only launched in December 11th, so it is brand new. So I'm not out here, saying, this is not a buy or it's good, bad, or ugly. I'm not doing any of that. What I wanted to do is get it out here to show people that the S&P 500 is being looked at totally different from different companies, and VistaShares is making a huge change to that. There is a lot of risk out there in the risk-return balance. The potential return of that 15% target, we've seen it with Omaha, we've seen it with the other funds that they've done, that they've been able to achieve that number. But this is different. This is a totally different animal than what those are. But we have the risk that we have to remember. It's a new fund. So it's going to take 3-6 months for us to even really get excited about it. The derivative risk and the market risk. So let me know what your thoughts are. Is this a fund that you have some interest into it, that it's because it's in the S&P 100 and not just picking, single one stock? Or is this just another one of those, 15% is way too high, too risky, don't want to be a part of it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are of the new VistaShares Target 15.
Thank you for watching. Press the